Hi, I'm David Rodriguez, and today I'm going to talk to you about my research, electromagnetic device for cerebrovascular disease imaging. Knowing that applied research requires interdisciplinary work, during my PhD, I collaborate with academic institutions, industry institutions, and of course, because of my topic, with health institutions. During this time, I published 4 journal papers, participate in more than 10 international conferences, and get the second prize in one. But also, we know that research has to inspire, and because of that, I also participate in communication activities like the Pitch Day, the Futuro Remoto, Biennale de la Tecnología, Note di Ricercatore, Festivale de la Tecnología, between others. Now that you know a little bit about me, let me explain the motivation behind my work. Cerebrovascular disease are diseases that affect vessels in the brain, and normally there are two kinds, ischemic and hemorrhagic one. In one case, you have a block, instead in the other one you have a burst. But are those important? Actually, yes, they are the second cause of death worldwide. From the people who suffer one, 25% die, and from the survivors, 25% get a disability, and from those, only 25% get full recovery. So it's a very important issue. So, looking at the medical need, the physician requires a device that is able to do detection, classification, and also the continuous monitoring of the pathology. The two first are also are right now solved with the golden standard techniques like MRI or CT, but the continuous monitoring is still an need. So, this is the point where my research gets more importance. Then the current techniques, MRI and CT, are time-consuming, not portable, costly, not available for the bedside monitoring, and they are also harmful because in the case of CT, use ionizing radiation. So in my thesis, I'm proposing use microwave imaging. This is a complementary technology that could help us with these problems. So the principle behind microwave imaging is in the contrast that present, in our case, the healthy tissues and the stroke affected one. That means that the permittivity of the average brain is different from the permittivity of the hemorrhage or the ischemia. A normal microwave imaging system is going to be something like this, and an array of antennas that you put around the head where the antennas can act like also transmitter or receiver. Schematizing the core of microwave imaging system, we have something like that. As a simple, we have an electromagnetic model that gives us the field in a nominal condition. In the other hand, we have the scattering parameters that we take into different conditions. That means that we can follow up the growing up or the stringing of the stroke. Those are immersed in an algorithm that at the end gonna retrieve us the contrast that is the factor that we are interested. Then to apply the microwave imaging, we have a system like this that consists of three parts. In the left, we have the BNI. In the middle, we have a switching matrix. And in the right, we have the array of antennas. The switching matrix, who is in the middle, is going to act like a multiplexer between the two parts of the BNI and the 24 parts of the antennas. So we recover the information from each one of these antennas, where the antenna is a monopole that is immersed in this brick that is acting like a coupling medium and allow us to improve the penetration and the resolution of our algorithms. Later of recover all the data, we apply them to the imaging algorithm that we present at the beginning and recover a 3D image. So the microwave system is gonna try to follow up clinical scenarios like the one in the left, where you have a growing up of the stroke, and try to get the differential contrast in the middle. To do that in the experimental setup, we implemented these two scenarios, one empty head that mimics the healthy tissue, and later we put an stroke inside, but let me explain more about that. We implemented different testing scenarios using an homogeneous head filled with average liquid, but also with a multi-tissue head where we put an actual brain made of closed brain and do different experiments. So After recover these parameters, we can apply them to an imaging algorithm and retrieve the imaging. This is a 3D imaging that indicates to the medical staff where is the stroke, and he is showing up the progression of the stroke. There is still many work to do, and for that, looking into the future, we have implemented the second version of the system. We use a more flexible layer and less bulky antennas. Also now we are thinking in use a system that is able to use non-static and more realistic phantoms. With this, I'm concluding my presentation. I'm David Rodriguez, and in this work, I'm moving from the theory to the real implementation of a microwave imaging system.